I heard that she wound up, you know what I'm saying, coming back around and being a halfway decent regular person. I know that she not married as far as the last time that I had heard from her or talked to her. We still cool. She got my number and all of that other type of stuff or whatever. But the reality is that it's not a good look. It just wasn't a good look. And so often at times I find that most divorces are initiated not based off of what it is that you guys see from a data or statistics perspective, but most divorces are initiated because people are operating outside of their purpose and they got married under false pretenses in the first place. Listen, when you pay attention to what happened with Denia Jackson and Derek Jackson, and you look at any of these situations where you see these people that are visible or you see any of your friends getting divorced and everything like that, they didn't get divorced because things changed or they're any different than they was before in the first place. They getting divorced because they was never supposed to be together. Y'all not hearing me. Y'all not hearing me. People don't get divorced because something changed or she no longer what it is that she wanted to be or she not giving up sex or he lost his job. That is not the number one reason why people get divorced. Pay attention to what I'm telling you right now. Nobody is going to give you this level of game that I'm giving you right now. Nobody understands this level of context to be able to give you this type of game. Nobody is successfully married enough and been doing it long enough to be able to give you this type of game. They're not getting divorced because there's an inherent problem with their marriage. They're not getting divorced because somebody cheated. They're not getting divorced because the money is. They not getting divorced because she had postpartum and he didn't understand her. They not getting divorced because now she acting different because she got different friends and she whatever. So that's not why they getting divorced. Okay? Let me give you an example. Denia Jackson and Derek Jackson was never supposed to be married in the first place. They were never equally yoked. Number one, she came into this a shell of a person, broken, not even really supposed to be in a relationship in the first place, which was why it was so easy for her to get caught up with it that never hid the fact that he was out here in these streets. So she came in broken, unhealed, trauma, into a relationship looking to be fixed and healed by a dude that never even hid the fact that he was other chicks. From the very day, as admitted out of her mouth, since they was 19 years old, according to what she said in that interview, all the way up until the time that they got divorced, he never changed. He was never any different than what he presented himself to be in the first place. Which means that, A, she should have been doing the work on herself so she can come into the relationship whole, because relationships are not 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10. Relationships are 100-100. And so because you're not whole and you're looking for somebody to heal you and you're looking to be interdependent on somebody in order for you to be happy, they can never make you that because they never came into it whole in the first place. And secondly, she knew who he was before he got there, and then she still rocked with him, and now she's trying to hold him accountable for his actions, even though he never did anything different than he did in the first place. They were never supposed to be together in the first place. They got together under the guise of what a relationship was supposed to be, based off of sex, trauma, money, fame, and everything else that was wrong, built on a house of sand, easily falling over. All of your friends that got divorced, most of them got with the person that they with out of circumstance, because they had sex too early, because they were exposed to somebody that they were never supposed to be exposed to in the first place, or they got into a relationship, shacking up, building their relationship on a foundation that was weak, and then they just went ahead and did it, which is one of the reasons why it was so easy for them to fall away from it. People don't change. They become more of what they already are. And you don't even need money to do it. As you age, as you get older, people become more of what they already are. They become hardened. By the time you see them in high school, that is the person that you're going to run into at the 10-year reunion, 20-year reunion, 30-year reunion, 40-year reunion. People do not change the core of who they are, especially from a personality, interest, or desire perspective. They are going to continue to attract the same type of people. They're going to continue to like the same type of people. They're going to continue to exhibit the same type of behavior. But for some reason, We look at these people and say that we supposed to change them. You supposed to change a hoe into a housewife. You supposed to change a dude that's a player into a docile house cat. We supposed to change a housewife into a hoe. When inherently, these people are exactly who they presented themselves when they first met you. But you are the only person that can't see it. Your friends see it, your mama see it, your daddy see it. Everybody around you see it. They warned you not to get with the chick in the first place. And now you feel neglected, or now you feel like you was bamboozled. You wasn't. You seen it. You ignored it. You thought that you can change him. You thought that he was going to be different. You thought that just because he was a thug, he was going to put on a suit and then get a good job and become some kind of IT or professor or something like that. He ain't different. That had a teardrop under his eye the first day that you met him. What you thought, he got the teardrop just because it was cute? That killed somebody. That's where it come from. Ain't nobody different. Ain't nobody changed. Ain't nobody any different than, listen, we've seen this play out countless times. Celebrity after celebrity, person after person. Nobody is changing. The truth about divorce is that it was already impending from the first day that you said, I do. You never was going to be with that person long term. Why do you think that your grandparents are so easily married for the entirety of their lives? Because they were more equally yoked. They didn't have access to all of this information. They didn't have a whole bunch of friends. They didn't want to be something that they wasn't. They were only exposed to the person that they was next to, which means that they raised together, they grew together, they were inherently who they were together, and they never switched up, and they understood exactly, even if granddad was a boy and grandmom was a postman, they never got divorced and they never split up. You know why? Because they exactly who they were, and they was equally yoked when they got together. Up, toe up, completely destroyed each other, whatever, so on and so forth. They was bad marriage for life, like Jada Pinkett and Will Smith. It wasn't no misunderstandings. It wasn't no force. They inherently were who they were, and they understood each other. And so it was easy for them to continue to reconcile or amend or fix their situation because they were who they were. They exactly who they attracted. They were equal and opposite reactions to each other, and they literally were a reflection of each other. They couldn't even live without each other. As a matter of fact, when one died, the other one probably died the next day because they couldn't even exist without each other. You are with the wrong person. I'm telling you, listen. Some of y'all might be listening with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband, and y'all thinking something, but y'all can't say it out loud. I'm sorry that I'm saying it and I'm embarrassing you right now. Both of y'all thinking the same thing. Neither one of y'all are innocent. Go ahead, look each other in the eye like y'all do in church and say, you ain't right. Look your neighbor in the eye and say, you ain't right. Matter of fact, let me add something in there. You ain't right for me. You ain't right. Look your neighbor in the eye and say, you ain't right for me. Some of y'all is with a dude that you know ain't never gonna marry you. You know he has no interest in marrying you. And if he does, if you somehow finesse him into marrying you, you will eventually get divorced because you know he was never supposed to be with you in the first place.